Jacksonville is at Pittsburgh. Here's your question, Heath. It's a demand. I'm ordering you. Yep. Rank the wide receivers, Jacksonville at Pittsburgh.
I don't know if you know this, but I did that on Tuesday morning, and I updated it on Wednesday morning, and I'll probably update it again before the game tonight. But I've got it Pickens, Kirk, then a small gap, then Ridley, then a small gap, then Deontay.
Pickens, Kirk, Ridley, Deontay. Jamie,
Pickens and Kirk are the two guys I have ranked as top 24 wide receivers. Ridley's top 30. Deontay is a low end number 3.
I have it almost identical, except I have Kirk slightly ahead of Pickens.
All right. I will talk about this game shortly. It's our first game, but this is, look, on paper, the matchup for Ridley. I mean, not that it's not for Kirk, but come on, man. Like, this is a week. You got to get it done. New Orleans at the Colts. Yeah. I mean, they really
it's hard, though. It's hard to say must-start guy, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. Yeah, I'm not making that case. But it looks like a better, certainly looks like a better matchup than New Orleans last week. Speaking of New Orleans at Indianapolis. Okay, the Colts wide receivers, they came through in a tough matchup last week. Will they do it again this week, Jamie?
Will the Colts
wide receivers come through?
I think they're number 3 receivers. I don't think you want to necessarily call Michael Pittman a slam dunk because it is a tough matchup. So he's a borderline guy, certainly better in PPR than non and half. And Downs, I don't think has earned must-start status yet against this type of matchup. But in 3 receiver leagues, it's hard to get away from him. So Pittman's still over Downs, but both number 3 receivers.
Yeah, I've got Pittman in the Pickens Kirk range, and I've got Downs behind Ridley and Deontay.
See, you're high on Michael Pittman. All right, we found someone you're higher on. Cleveland at Seattle. Rank the wide receiver. This is all about wide receivers so far. Unintentional here. Rank the wide receivers in this game. Cleveland at Seattle.
Metcalf. Big space. Cooper. Lockett. Smith and Njigba.
I do not have a wide receiver in this game ranked in my top 30. But it is Metcalf, then a gap. Cooper and Lockett are basically a coin flip, and then JSN. It might be Elijah over JSN, but yeah.
All right, yeah. JSN, very different profile last week without Metcalf. Played out wide more, ran deeper routes, scored on the busted coverage, but that was a good sign. Just, we don't want him running like super short routes out of the slot all game. That might happen again, though, this week. So would you guys start Calvin Ridley or DK Metcalf?
Ridley for me.
All right. Atlanta at Tennessee. Boy, I really didn't mean to make these all about wide receivers. Start or sit Drake London, who has an end zone target in 6 straight games. That's cool. Start or sit Drake London at Tennessee.
I like him better than everybody in the game we just talked about. And I do like the fact that we're coming off a game where he scored 11 point something PPR points under 12. And that's now considered a bad game for him.
I also like him better than all the Seattle and Cleveland wide receivers. I had him ranked, I think I'm like 5 spots behind Dave and Jamie on him. He's around wide receiver 30. I had him ranked a little bit higher before the switch to PJ Walker, just because not switch. Because I would have him ranked a little bit higher if Ryan Tannehill was playing.
Right.
But this game is like an over-under of 36, and Arthur Smith might be able to get away with running it 72 times.
All right, that's Drake London. Houston at Carolina. Is this the Dameon Pierce week?
Yes.
I see this situation almost exactly like the two teams that are playing each other almost exactly the same. I think Pierce and Sanders probably both get the first series. I wouldn't be surprised if Chuba and Singletary get the second series. And if the backups are better, I wouldn't be surprised if they get more snaps.
Okay. New England. And by the way, Jamie, it's not like a resounding yes for you on Dameon Pierce. It's not like he's a must-start guy or anything.
No, but he's not far off. I mean, it's a week where we have everybody playing and not a lot of significant injuries, at least as of now, for running backs. But I think he's still going to be the lead guy.
All right, New England's at Miami. Starter sit Ramondre Stevenson, who has 2 straight games with 6 targets. Heath, starter sit Stevenson.
He's could not be like more on the borderline. I think he's right at RB24. So he's a fine start. If you need a flex, he's probably a good flex. but low end number 2 running back. And like, I think he's very, very similar in full PPR to Rachaad White. It's almost the exact same hope.
I feel like, Jamie, you're a little higher on Stevenson. Am I right?
Yeah, no, I like what I've seen the last 2 weeks. I'm not worried about Zeke stealing touchdowns. That's irrelevant to me. The fact that he's back involved in the passing game is huge. And so you play the narrative, chasing points. They're probably going to be throwing. I think they'll be throwing to him. He already had a 15-point game against them earlier this season. He did that on the ground. So I don't think this Dolphins defense is one that you necessarily have to run away from. We've seen guys like Chuba Hubbard, for example, have a good game against this team. They've given up a rushing touchdown, I think, 3 of the last 4 games. So again, that could be Zeke, but I think just Stevenson in the passing game, to me, that's what you drafted him for, and it's back.
Does that narrative change at all? And I think that it's right now the spread's 9. If we get to Friday and Tyreek's not practicing, how far does that spread? Like, he moves it at least 3 points, doesn't he?
You would assume, and then if Mostert's out, that just changes everything dramatically.
Like if Belichick can take Waddle away, and the top target's Berrios.
First off, I think it'd probably be Cedric Wilson.
Respect.
Or Chosen, or hold your breath.
No, the top target will be Waddle. I mean, he's
no, the second guy.
Targets. The second one. Well, I mean, I don't know if this matters to you, but if you think about the 2 games where they got absolutely destroyed, Dallas and New Orleans, those were horrible games for Stevenson.
I don't think that happens.
All right. He's had the 5 to 6 catches in 3 competitive games: Philadelphia, Las Vegas, and Buffalo.
Still outside of last week, trailing.
Chicago at the Chargers. I am nervous about Deontay Foreman. Oh, wait, I skipped the game. Whatever. Chicago at the Chargers. I'm nervous about Deontay Foreman. Are you?
No.
I'll be a little more nervous if Roschon's back. I think, and I can look this up, I think the Chargers' run defense in terms of efficiency has been better lately.
Oh, great. Like, very good. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny. My son came to me this morning embarrassed over an ad drop decision that he made and wanted me to tell him it was okay because he dropped T. Higgins for Adam Thielen. It's like an 8-team league, and he just felt dumb. And I said, no, you got to do that. He's 3-4. You got to get a win. And then he was really upset because my ranking said to start Deontay Foreman over Derrick Henry, and he can't imagine sitting Derrick Henry for Deontay Foreman. If Roschon is moved into the rankings, I will move Foreman behind Henry and into that Rachaad White, Ramondre Stevenson range for me.
All right.
I just wonder, though, like Roschon having not played for 3 weeks and still being a rookie, who do they want to trust him to the level of what they've been doing with Deontay Foreman? Like, I just feel at this point like he's going to be Darrington Evans, a better version of that.
Maybe.
Like just somebody that they're using in a secondary role, like for at least the first game.
All right. Well, for me, it's not even so much about Roschon Johnson, but I'll tell you what, I'll tease it. We'll bring it up later when we preview the game. It's a little bit about Roschon Johnson. Kansas City is at Denver. Are you starting any Broncos in this game?
No.
I'd rather not.
I mean, Sutton in 3 receiver leagues, it's hard to get away from.
Well, we've talked about a lot of receivers we don't really like this week, like Calvin Ridley and DK Metcalf, maybe Josh Downs. Sutton over any or all of those guys?
He's slightly ahead for me. I think I have it like Sutton, Metcalf, Ridley, 29, 30, 31, something like that.
Okay. And I think I have it Ridley, Sutton, Metcalf.